Hey everybody, welcome back to paradise. I am enjoying paradise today next to a river, and I've got rivers on my mind today. I'm thinking about the Yellowstone River and the flooding up in Montana and how crazy that is. I'm sure you guys have seen the footage of that flooding. I'm pretty sure it's all over the news at this point. It's I just have a few things that I thought I'd share with you guys, just kind of some food for thought that and we're seeing all the footage of the flooding and kind of that wow factor, but and then now we're starting to see some some talk about what's going to happen. When are they going to reopen Yellowstone Park and what's it going to be like and the roads and all that. So that's kind of more, I'm getting more into that. So, two things to consider. One is the debris. And think about how much stuff is being washed into the river. That's really sad for me. I know that there's whole houses that have gone into the river and all of the other debris that's washing in. With that, you can think treated wood and chemicals and glass and whatever was there is washing into the river. So it's just always weird to think about, when we think about some of these events, such as flooding, historic accounts of flooding isn't normally that big of a problem, actually. I mean, there's native groups that would get in boats and kind of ride out even big coastal floods. Flooding is a life-giving event. It makes our soil fertile, and it's a natural process for rivers. So it's interesting to see the perspective, the very sadness and the shock and awe about flooding, when in a way it shouldn't really have to be so catastrophic. But it's our infrastructure. Our infrastructure is built right against the river, and maybe it shouldn't be there. So that's a thought. And then that leads me to the next thought is the road that's there. So the road that goes into Yellowstone, it's the northern entrance, and that's Highway 89. It goes right through Paradise Valley and into northern Yellowstone, and that road got really wiped out. I mean, it was pretty crazy to see. But then there's the thought, was it that crazy? Because if we think about where that road was built, I mean, it was on the side of a cliff with highly erosive rocks. To me, I feel like the writing was on the wall. I don't know. I mean, it was already starting. You can see past reports of certain areas where it was eroding away. I mean, it's what a river does. It's going to erode sections, and that was already happening. So then you have an event like this, and then, we're thinking about climate change and how many more types of events like this should we see. So then it leaves me with the question of, they're talking about like rebuilding and all this stuff, and I'm just always like, well, should we rebuild? Do we need that road up there at all, to be honest? And people think, accessibility into the park, and I don't know, we have other entrances, right? And I'm in the mindset of maybe decreasing accessibility into the parks. I mean, they're really overrun, and I know there's people that want to get into them. They could still get on the edges. There's still beautiful places, but in terms of, like Yellowstone's 2 million acres. In terms of millions of acres, people think it's a lot. It's not as much as you'd think, and ecologically speaking, the animals need a lot of space, and we are already short on actual wild lands. So it really wouldn't hurt to have some places that are kind of hard to get to, right? So, I kind of would like to see some of these park places be less accessible and maybe just maybe kept wild and maybe with less roads. So do we really need that road? I don't know. What do you guys think? I find this interesting to think about in times like this, and it'll be interesting to see what they do. Yellowstone's a really awesome area if you've not made it up there. Very beautiful and fun to see that kind of landscape. It's just, it's geology meets ecology. So it was the first time I saw it, I was pretty in love. Haven't been back in a while because it is so busy. Kind of like my wilderness, a little less people. But you can still backpack in there too, and it's pretty cool. But, and in the Yellowstone River, people are thinking about it, and oh my goodness, like I brought up, like think about all that debris that's going in it. It's not exactly pristine. There have been even oil spills, many of them, into the Yellowstone River. And it's not it's not dammed in terms of, you know, like Hoover Dam or anything like that, but there are levees and different things along the river. It's been altered a bit. I'm pretty sure all our waterways have been, but yeah. So like I said, I'm along the Green River. It is not flooding, so if you want to see a river that's not flooding, here you go. A little change of scenery compared to what you've been seeing per the Yellowstone River. But Green River is interesting too right now because it's actually higher than it normally is. Aside from melt and spring runoff and all that stuff, there's a lot of water that's been being moved here to feed Lake Powell's issues. So we've got all kinds of interesting water things going on. And again, I'll talk in much more greater depth on Let's Go Geo. So if you guys aren't there, please check it out. Please subscribe, help me out, get the channel going. I really love those topics and really enjoying talking about those over there. And yeah, I had to go into more detail there. But today I just wanted to think with you guys about what's going on out there. This is a close to home kind of issue, and let me know what you guys think. I'm going to enjoy my spot, and I'll see you guys. Bye.